Hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because today we're going to be talking about TSLY. Because TSLY is a position I've held on this channel for a very long time. I want to talk about some dividends I've received. I want to talk about, more specifically, is now the time to be selling TSLY? Because in the underlying Tesla, we had a huge bull run to the upside. You can even see over the past 6 months, up about 66% here. And just within the past couple of months, it's reached a barrier where it's crossed over kind of a big support line here. You can see that if I can kind of move around here, which I can't, about $260 or so. And you can see this was a $260 barrier where Tesla's currently sitting. So is Tesla going to rebound down, or is it potentially going to break through? That's what I want to share my opinions on in this video, and as well just kind of touch on my overall position and show you exactly what I got, how it's been performing, and things like that. So that does sound good. We're up to 5,899 subscribers. We're one subscriber away from 5,900. And 101 subscribers away from 6,000. So please do remember to subscribe. 413 in the past 28 days. The last video is doing great. Thank you very much. Remember to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who maybe doesn't do high dividends, because let's open up some possibilities. Not saying TSLY is the perfect fund. I think Yieldmax is a much better fund, which I hold 22 shares, even in my other portfolio. But as you guys know, I hold about 750 shares of Yieldmax. But today we're talking about TSLY. So let's get into it. Cool. TSLY has been on a straight downtrend over the majority of its time. And here I am. I'm like, show your friends to some high dividends. And then look at this. They really IPO'd at $20, but they did a reverse stock split. And so they're down roughly about over 75% of their original value. And potentially TSLY could do another stock split if they get below $10 as well. So that's something to think about. But what I want to talk about is it time to finally sell off TSLY? Because Tesla's share price has risen to a point where it's approaching highs within the last 6 months. It's at a huge resistance point where we see 1, 2, 3 times in the past year. It's hit about $260, $270. And now we're wondering the question, is it likely that Tesla is going to break through? And I think yes, I do think it's time that Tesla breaks through, and I want to talk about that now. So this means for TSLY, potentially, even though I have 70 shares here, I'm not looking to sell these 70 shares just because I do think Tesla is going to break through. And the reason being, we look at the past 3 months, there's huge bullish momentum on Tesla's part. Huge bullish momentum, which is heading into a key resistance point about $270. If we look here, just looking closely at this, you can see the candles kind of get a little bit choppier and smaller, and then Tesla rebounds. Here you can see there was big bullish momentum like we've seen here, but in these candles, you can notice that if you look here where my marker's kind of going, there is big resistance. There's resistance here, there's a big resistance here, there's a huge resistance to this downside, and then it trended down from there. Even here, choppy candles. But we see something here in the past 3 months, which we haven't seen in Tesla in a very long time, which is huge bullish pressure, huge buying pressure, and not very much resistance going into this old resistance point here. Because of this new bullish pressure, and look at this, even the resistance on the last day, barely anything. So it's going strong into our next day. I do think that we're going to break through this $270 marker. Will it be? I think potentially within the next month. And what does that mean for your Yieldmax shares? Or Yieldmax, I always say Yieldmax. Your TSLY shares, I do think this is going to mean higher prices in TSLY. But what I would do is, if you're looking to potentially exit your TSLY position, because I understand, look, TSLY is a Yieldmax ETF, I'm not looking to buy anymore. I think it's performed extremely poorly. Of course, down 75% from inception. I myself, if I go to my total returns, I'm actually down about 50% on TSLY. See my position here, 70 shares. My initial investment, about $1,800, has turned into $900. That's down almost $900, which is 50% basically of my total investment. Of course, I've been receiving some fantastic dividends. The latest one being $75 Canadian, and then you could see here as well, I hold some American, $20. So that's roughly about $100 right there I'm receiving every single month from TSLY. And I can go back and show you even the previous months and show you, look, TSLY has still been a fantastic dividend payer for me. $18 here, $67 here, and I'll go back even further just to find one more, just a little bit of proof. TSLY once again, $44, $12. You can see it's a little bit all over the place. but they've been paying some fantastic dividends lately. The only thing though is the share price just cannot keep up because Tesla, the underlying stock, is so volatile. It goes huge swings to the upside and then huge swings to the downside. And Tesla itself is a highly traded stock. I think for a Yieldmax strategy, a highly traded stock doesn't work in its favor just because it takes the full blunt of the downside, where it only takes a portion, 5 to 15% of the upside. But you can see here, TSLY's dividends has significantly recovered from its previous, where it was paying in the 60-cent range. It's gone up to about $1 now, almost about 90 cents on average. But nonetheless, that's only if you're holding. I don't necessarily recommend buying it. Of course, this is not financial advice, but you can understand why. I do think though that Tesla is potentially bound to break out, which means TSLY will likely see a little bit of a boost in the next little while. It all depends on what Tesla does, but I think Tesla's going to break out, so therefore I think TSLY is going to break out. Now, what does this mean for my shares? If I see Tesla hit about $300, I'm most likely selling all of my TSLY shares, because at that point, where Tesla hits a point where it hasn't seen in the past 5 years, maybe $300, we see another point here, roughly $300 is our next resistance point. And then we see here $400 was Tesla's high. There's also a little bit of a resistance at $280, so something to keep in mind. Tesla is going to likely go up, in my opinion, to about $280, see a bit of resistance, and then maybe push through to $300 or beyond. But nonetheless, I do think TSLY in the near future is going to go up, and I'm not looking to sell currently, but I will be looking to sell when I do so, because when Tesla goes up, it's likely going to crash shortly after, and it's going to be a fast crash. Everything where TSLY goes down is fairly steep. You could see here, and the Yieldmax ETF TSLY takes all of that downside. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do with my position. I'm looking to hold it for the current time being. I'm happy collecting the dividends, but when I see Tesla approach about $300 or so, or I'm not even going to be that bullish, maybe about $285, $280, which is $10 more than the current share price, which would only be a day from now because it went up $8 in the previous day, I will be looking to sell off my 70 shares of TSLY, get my money out, and potentially put it into something a little bit more stable like Yieldmax, which holds all of our Yieldmax ETFs. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, more of a calm video. We're up to 5,899 subscribers. Remember to subscribe. Remember to share this. Like this if you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts on TSLY, Tesla, where it's going to go in the future, seeing my dividends, and seeing kind of my overall portfolio. I like to be as clear as possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do take care, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.